রাতে শোয়ার আগে আমার দরজা বন্ধ করে আসতো, ঠিক আছে? মনে থাকবে তোমার ছোট্ট মাথায়?
এরকম মানুষটা তুমি করে বলতে আমি বলতাম, তাহলে তুমি বলতাম আমি আত্মহত্যা করো। তুমি এখন ঘুমাও।
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to the Go Global webinar. I am excited to see that we have joined. I see that a lot more people are joining at this time, and we have even more people on the live stream on YouTube. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation to this groundbreaking program. Okay, so we're going to start while we wait for other people. While we expect that other people join in, we would get started. So if you're here on this chat, whether you're joining us on YouTube or on Zoom, I would like you to use the chat section to tell us where you're joining us from. Tell us your city and your country. Let's do that quickly. You might find someone who lives close to you, who knows? Tell us where you're joining us from. I see that we have people from Texas, US, we have people from Nairobi, Kenya, Malawi, Rwanda, Ibadan, Oyo, Auckland, New Zealand, Calabar, Nigeria. Wow, we have quite a number of countries represented. This is amazing. We have Cameroon represented, Akwa Ibom, Monrovia, Liberia, Madagascar, Ghana, Edo State. Awesome, awesome. Uganda, I love Uganda. Zimbabwe, Zambia. Oh my goodness, Ethiopia. This is beautiful. Welcome everyone. This is truly representative of a global program. And I'm happy that you made out time to show up today. So we'll get started. My name is Grace Ihejiamaizu and Grace Ihejiamaizu-Paul. And I am the amazing host for the Go Global webinar titled From Rejection to Congratulations, How to Land Your Next Global Opportunity. We're going to have a wonderful time. So prepare your minds, have your notepads by your side, make sure you have a bottle of water so you don't have to leave your table, and make sure that there are no distractions. Pay attention for the next 60 minutes, hopefully, and we will have a good time together. All right, so today's webinar, as the title goes, is saying that today is the day you begin the journey from rejection to congratulations. How to go from rejection to that wonderful email that you are hoping to receive. Imagine that you get an email, you wake up first thing in the morning, and the email reads, "Congratulations, we are happy to inform you that you have been selected. We are happy to inform you that you have been recognized. We are happy to inform you that you have been recommended." All those beautiful expectations you have, imagine that you get an email telling you that. Oh, what a joy that would be. I love waking up to emails that congratulate me for anything. So I can imagine how you'd feel if you got the same email. Today, we are here to say that it is possible and to show you how to make it possible. So there are two categories of people here, and maybe more, right? So there are people here who have been getting rejections, getting denials, getting, no's time and time again. They've tried, they've applied, they've done everything they can, and they're just so frustrated. Why am I always getting a no? Why am I never selected? Why don't they ever choose me? And these set of people are here today to know why and to know how they can start getting, yes, congratulations, you have been selected, you have been nominated. The second category of people here tonight are the people who probably have gotten one or two opportunities in the past. They have been selected, they have won a couple of awards, they have some recognition, they've done incredible work, they're actually doing well, but they're saying to themselves, it's not enough, there is more, and I think I can get more, I think I can do more, I want to scale, I want to grow, I want to do more, I want to achieve more, I want more people to hear me, I want my story to go far and wide. If you are amongst these people, this program is for you. You have come to the right place. So whether you are part of the first category of persons or you are part of the second category of persons, we have something for everyone. And today I'm not alone. I brought on board my friends, my colleagues, peers. These are people that I've known for years. These are people that I've worked with in one capacity or the other. And they are tested, they are trusted, they've been there, they've done that, they've been rejected, they have failed, they've had setbacks, challenges, but you know what? They didn't let those things keep them down there. They actually surmounted those challenges and became global achievers. So today you're going to hear from them, you're going to hear their stories, and I hope that at the end of the day, you get what you expect from this program. So why are you here? Three things that I'm hoping that you take out. One, you're going to understand the common reasons for rejection, and you're going to get tested and trusted strategies used by global achievers to attract and win global opportunities. And finally, you're going to learn how to navigate setbacks, harness the power of resilience, and develop a growth mindset. Get ready to be blown. Someone somewhere is wondering, who is she? Everybody is talking about her. Some people send me DMs and they're like, I'm seeing your flyers all over my DMs. I'm seeing your flyers all over my feeds, my status. What is happening? What do you do? Who are you? So I'm not going to assume that everybody here knows me. So I'm going to talk a little bit about myself and why you should trust me to show you the way, and why this program I have put together is the best thing that's going to happen to you. My name is Grace Ihejiamaizu-Paul again, and I am an award-winning social entrepreneur, educator, and opportunity curator. When I say award-winning, I really do mean it. I don't put things in my bio that are not or who I am or that don't represent me. So I have been nominated twice for the Advanced Media 100 Most Influential People in Nigeria. I've been nominated for the Future Africa Young Person of the Year Awards in 2013. I have received the Educators Award, Achievers Award, World Economic Forum New Champions Award, and several others, too numerous to mention. I am also a best-selling author of the book, Go Global with Opportunities. If you haven't read this book, I encourage you to go on Amazon or Roving Heights websites and grab a copy for yourself. I am the founder and the CEO of OpportunityDesk.org and the co-founder of AcademicHive.com. Both websites, in fact, Opportunity Desk is the largest online platform that curates and shares information about fully funded global opportunities for young people across the world. We have reached over 11 million impressions, traffic, calling users, however you want to put that. Our statistics shows that 11 million people have visited the website in the last 10 to 11 years. And of course, as a professional, I have over 10 years of experience working in the youth development space, helping people access opportunities and mentoring and guiding them through the process. I teach and I guide people to secure fully funded scholarships, fellowships, and grants. I am currently a PhD candidate in social work at a university here in North America. And of course, I'm a mother to one gorgeous boy, King David, and I am a wife. One of the things that I like to highlight about my journey is the fact that I have traveled by the grace of God. I have been privileged to travel to over 15 countries across the world on fully funded trips. So I didn't have to pay a dime to go to the US, UK, Belgium, Japan, South Korea, South Africa, Uganda, France, Switzerland, all these amazing places. And this is really, really why I'm doing this, because I want you to have the experiences that I had, and I want you to avoid the mistakes that I made. I want you to reach your fullest potential and tap into everything that is meant for you out there. So if you look at your screen, you'll find a few pictures of me at World Economic Forum. I've spoken twice, once on a panel, and the other I led a small group discussion at World Economic Forum events. I spoke at the Youth Mobile Project in Uganda, and also the UNESCO Youth Forum in Paris. And in the US as well, I made presentations about my work on several locations. These are all experiences that have exposed me to so much and given me the platform to share my story and to connect with people from diverse cultures and backgrounds. Another notable thing that I'd like you to know about me is that in 2015, I coached a team of girls called Team Charis, and they won the Technovation World Pitch Competition in San Francisco. So we had this fully funded trip, and we went to the US, went to California. Of course, we met with people from Google and some of the tech companies that are quite popular now. And these girls were amazing. Thanks to my coaching, my mentoring, they emerged winners of the Technovation World Pitch, and they were the first African team to ever do so. So when I tell you that I am the right person to hold your hands and show you the way, I know what I'm talking about. So this is me blowing my horn. And of course, there's so much more. This is just a little bit of my story. There's so much. I would have to say you need to do your research to find out more. But by God's grace, this is what I have achieved in my lifetime so far. So there's a post that I have on my social media platforms. It's actually pinned to all my platforms. If you go on our Instagram page, my Facebook, my Twitter, my LinkedIn, you would most definitely come across this post. It had a lot of traction. It reached thousands of people, and somehow they found it very inspiring. So today I'm going to reiterate what I wrote in that post and highlight a few important things that I want you to note. So these are the things I did to win fully funded opportunities very early in life. And when I say very early, I'm talking about when I was 19 years old. Well, some of you might be younger than me, but yeah, that's how early I started to do quite a lot of things. So I joined global communities like Enactors, World Economic Forum, Global Shapers, Ashoka, Global Changemakers. And in all these places, I volunteered my time to make a positive impact. What I want to highlight here is the fact that I joined these global communities. I had some leadership roles and responsibilities within those organizations, and I tapped into the opportunities that they had because I was making a positive impact in my community. And my ability to volunteer my time here to help out really exposed me to so much, gave me the chance to learn how to lead people and projects, how to get back up when things are not working out, and how to seize opportunities when I see them. The second thing I wrote was that I was very honest with myself every time I had the chance to search for opportunities. So I would find something that is so juicy and attractive, and then I'll tell myself, this is not for you. Yes, it's a fully funded trip to the US, but it's not for you at this time. And I'll give myself a list of reasons why I think it's not for me. That was me being honest, genuinely honest with who I was at the time and what I needed and what opportunities were best fit and best suited for me. The third thing is that I was never in a rush to apply, never in a rush to apply to anything. So I always took my time to ensure that I understand the eligibility requirements and that I'm filling out the applications correctly. So never be in a rush to apply. I know that some of you are saying, I know when I find some things, I just, I don't want to miss the deadline. I want to be the first to get my application in. If you've been doing that, perhaps you should rethink it. I also stepped out of my comfort zone most times, and I did the work that needed to be done. The rewards of doing that became my motivation to never get lazy. So when other people maybe are going out and having a good time and sleeping through and doing whatever makes them feel good, right? I would push myself hard to get up early, to go out there, to do what I have to do the work that I have to do, and it did pay off. I wasn't doing that work because I wanted to get recognition. I did the work because I was genuinely passionate about the courses that I was part of. And in return, I got rewards for those sacrifices. And finally, I did not underestimate myself one bit. You see how I have blown my horn in this conference, right? When we are talking one-on-one, I may not say all these things, right? But there are times and platforms when you have to open your mouth and speak about yourself and speak for yourself. There are times to blow your horn, and I knew that my applications were the opportunities, perfect opportunities to do so. So I did not underestimate myself. I gave them my numbers, I let them know what I did, and I let them know that I actually did that work and I deserved a place on their program. So these are some of the things I did to win fully funded opportunities very early in life. And here is a bit of my story from no to yes. So I highlighted three of the biggest rejection moments for me. I've had numerous, countless rejections, but I quickly remembered that I was embarrassed and turned down one time by a potential sponsor for my first youth project. I had gone to this person with my team members, and I had my proposal in my hand. I knew what I wanted to do. I was so passionate, and I really, really trusted that this person would support me and help me. But what happened? I got there with my people, and he looked me in the eye and said, "Go and get a real job." I've never felt so embarrassed in my entire life until that time. I left his office feeling very devastated, but I didn't let that rejection stop me. So I went ahead and I raised funds and made my project happen, and I continued to apply for grant opportunities until I landed my first major grant of almost 10 million naira, and I'm talking 8 years ago. So you can imagine what almost 10 million naira could have done for me almost 8 years ago. And this was my testimony a few years after I got that rejection. The second experience I remember is that I was rejected for the first time when I applied to attend the World Education Summit in Dubai. I'm sure some of you know about the World Education Summit. I was invited to speak at that same summit 3 years later, precisely in 2021. Unfortunately, I couldn't make that conference because I was unavoidably absent. I was not going to be available. So you can imagine how a prestigious conference or summit that you have been applying to, you just want to be there. Everybody keeps getting selected. For some people, it's the One Young World Summit. Every year, the applications are open and you're always applying, but they just never take you. What do you then do? Give up? No, I didn't give up on World Education Summit, but I asked myself why. And I realized that it wasn't because I wasn't doing good work. It wasn't because my application wasn't good. It was because of other factors that we're going to look at shortly that I wasn't selected. And so I started to, prepare myself better and position myself better so that even if I don't get into the World Education Summit program, I will find a way to at least get into that network and do something with them. And 3 years later, that happened. I was sent an email invitation asking me to speak on a panel. It was a high-level panel, and I was like, oh my God, I must have done something right. Now, the third experience I had was that a lot of people said I was too ambitious. I was too serious. What was I looking for? And you know, this society's expectation for women, what they think that we should be doing, what they think that we should be gunning for, right? I had all those experiences, all those challenges, and I didn't feel bad. I didn't let it stop me. I continued to do the work I was doing. And the same people came back to me much later to say, show us the way. So if you're here today and you have a similar experience, trust me, the same people are going to clap for you in the end. Don't stop, keep going. So here are 9 reasons why people are often rejected. Some of our speakers are going to touch on these, but I thought to give you a highlight just before I call them up. Number 1 is that many of these organizations are looking for diversity of participants in their programs. So they don't want to select, if they're looking for 60 applicants or participants, they don't want to select 50 of them from Africa. They want to diversify, 20% from Africa, 20% from Europe, 20% from Asia, 20% from North America. They want to diversify. So sometimes it's in terms of gender, it's in terms of sector, so that everyone coming is not coming from a particular sector. So depending on what the organization wants, it could just be that they want to diversify participants. And so if you have an excellent application and there are 100 other people who have excellent applications, but from the same location, you see, they're not able to take everyone. So don't feel bad the next time you get a rejection. Another reason is that the program might be competitive with very limited spots available. Another reason is that maybe you don't have the qualifications they're looking for. You are great, you're perfect, but just not for the program. Perhaps they're looking for someone with a certain skills level or a certain interest area, passion, degree, whatever they want, and you may not have that, right? Another reason is that maybe you have submitted an incomplete or poorly prepared application, and that is very possible. This is something that I'm going to touch on in depth during my 2-day masterclass. You will learn more about it later. Another reason is sometimes misalignment with the opportunity. So they see your application, they think you're a great person, but maybe just not for the program. And they're looking for people who are starters. A friend of mine applied to a fellowship program, a fully funded fellowship, prestigious fellowship program, but unfortunately, she was not selected. Why? Because they felt that she was already advanced in her skills level and experiences, that for that program, they just needed starters. They needed people who were just getting things off the ground and needed support to do so. So misalignment with the opportunity can be the reason for your rejection. Limited funding, they may not have enough resources to take everyone. Subjective evaluation, they may have other things they're looking for in candidates, like their, their characteristics, their interests, their passions, and things like that they may be looking out for. And finally, the timing, right? Sometimes you submit so late and they have already selected the people that they need to. I mean, those who applied a little bit earlier. So these are factors that contribute to rejection. I'm sure you can see some of the reasons why you were rejected. Now, here are some points on how to overcome rejection. If you can, screenshot this. I'm not going to explain all of it because our speakers are going to touch on many of these. They'll be sharing their stories with us and they will let us know exactly how they overcame rejection. So drum rolls, if you're ready. Before we call our first speaker, I want you to imagine traveling the world without spending your money. Yes, that is absolutely possible. And I also want you to imagine winning free money without having to pay back. Yes, one of our speakers today has raised over $600,000 in grant funding for her organization and for other clients, and they've never had to pay that money back to the donors or to the people who have given them. So yes, you can win free money, we call them grants, without having to pay back. Also imagine yourself getting global recognition without paying any media platform. And finally, imagine yourself living the life of your dreams. All of this is possible. Stay with us and find out how. Okay, drum rolls. Our first speaker is Efe Johnson. Efe Johnson is a young friend, mentee, and someone that I truly, truly admire. I find her very inspiring. She has come to me several times to say, Grace, how can I help you today? How can I volunteer? What do you need help with this period? And then I look at her like, oh my goodness, that's so sweet of you. And then I tell her, can you help with this? Can you help with this? And she goes over and beyond to deliver. Free of charge. She doesn't ask me for any payments, even when sometimes I offer. I admire her so much, and I can't wait to hear her story. Very recently, she was named the United Nations Young Leader. This was just, I think, a few weeks ago or a few days ago. And then she became the only African invited to join the Generation 17 Young Leaders by the UNDP for 2023. Congratulations, Efe Johnson, you have the floor now. Okay, we will swap that. Due to technical issues, Efe is not here right now, but she will join us shortly. So I'll move on to the next speaker. Let's welcome Raymond Okpani. Raymond and I met way back in 2016 in the beautiful city of Abuja. Raymond is one phenomenal young man. When I met Raymond and he said, I have never been to the university, I said, no, that can't be possible. But what Raymond has achieved is something that even people with PhD degrees are not able to achieve. I don't know how he does it, but I feel like this young man knows how to tap into global networks. He knows how to tap into high-profile people's networks. He has connected with presidents. You're going to hear from him. He will share his story by himself, but I was particularly proud of his recent outing where he shared stage with the president of the Turkish Republic of North Cyprus. Welcome on board.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello, everyone. Good evening. Please, can you confirm you can hear me, please? Hello, Grace. Please, can you confirm?
Raymond, yes, we can hear you.
So I'm very back. Okay, I'm here. Okay, thank you so much, Grace, for making this possible. I am very, very, very excited. I'm proud of what you're doing. It's really an honor to be here. And of course, for everyone who has made out time to join in this conversation, believe me, for a lot of you guys, this might just be that very day you've been waiting for to really begin your journey. And like Grace said when she started, the people that will be sharing their stories with you guys tonight are not social media people. These are people with real life stories, with failures, with processes that has emanated to the results that has brought them to where they are, and myself particularly. But there are two things I want to say before I get to share my story with you guys. The first thing I want you to take home from my session is the fact that there will always be things to worry about, but just make sure they are not small things. In your life, there will always be things to worry about, but just make sure they are not small things, right? The second point I want to make is that growth is going to cost you. Growth is going to cost you. Now, how did I start? I grew up in a very industrial city in Southeast Nigeria, precisely a place called Aba in Abia State. And, you know, just like with every very young person at my age, I had a lot of dreams, big goals, but there was just no motivation, no inspiration to make these things to happen. And, you know, when you are in an environment that does not foster, or support your dreams, you're going to struggle a lot, right? And so, in fact, it was so bad that I never got to see an airplane until once in a very long while. You know, when you are living in a part of the world where you don't even get to see a flight, except if it is flying perhaps at 40,000 feet above the sea level, where you can't even see it inside the sky. That was actually where I stayed because there was no airport anywhere close to where I grew up. And that was actually how it happened. But then what was the beginning of the struggle? Grace mentioned that. I remember the very first time that Grace was very shocked when I told her about my academic background. Now, I believe that a lot of people on this call tonight are probably either you are already in school, in your university, you are an undergraduate, or most times a lot of you are all graduates, you know, with very fantastic certifications and all that. One of the things a lot of people do not know about me until recently when I started talking about it verbally is the fact that it took me 14 years before I got into the university. It took me 14 years, a decade, one solid decade and 4 years before I got into the university, right? You can imagine what could have happened, you know, if someone started school and within 14 years, what the person could have really amounted for. So that was actually the beginning of my struggle. So it made the fact that I could not access any form of opportunity. There was no how I was going to compete at the same level with my peers who perhaps had gone to school, who had access to certain level of opportunities, you know. So that was a very, 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 very big fight for me, all right? And at some point, I decided to start volunteering. Now, I started volunteering in 2009 actually, you know, got to work with a couple of organizations, worked in a lot of projects, lived in certain communities, worked on orphans and vulnerable children, HIV projects, you know, community TB care. I did a lot of projects, right? But that also did not guarantee that I was going to really use it to achieve my dream of going global, because there are also ways to really, you know, fast track some of these things. And I'm going to get back to that very shortly. I have a very short time to share with you guys. And so within the same period, I was also privileged to have served as the youngest special assistant to a head of civil service. I was 22 years old when I served in that capacity with government. Don't forget, I did not have any university certification. I was not a civil servant. And certainly I was a very young person at 22 years. I mean, I could have just been in school, you know, going for lectures, but here I was occupying a very high position with government. I think I was actually at grade level 12, step 2, where I was working with government. But again, was this really the goal I had actually dreamt for myself from where I started from? No, it wasn't. And so I found myself in an environment that did not also support where I was going. I didn't find people that will, you know, assure me that the future that I was dreaming about were really possible. And fast forward till 2016, when I eventually decided to leave government space. That was when I had very major rejections in my life, very, very serious one. The first was that, in fact, it was the heavy rejection that led me for twice in my life. I contemplated suicide. That was between 2016 and 2017. They were the worst years of my life. And that was also the period I met Grace in Abuja, right? Now, what happened within those periods? Now, I got out of government. Don't forget, I didn't have any university certification, so I couldn't get a job. There was no way I could get a job. I didn't have any skill, because even the environment where I had, there was no one there to inspire me to know that, or you know what, you can actually get a skill, because I was actually living like a civil servant. I had this civil servant mentality, okay? And so I was ejected from my house twice. So I was ejected from my very first house, and I moved into the new place. After 1 year, I was also ejected again from that house. It was so crazy. And I had to squat with my friends who were studying medicine. By the way, I have a very, very, very strong passion for medicine. And so I got to move with my friends in their hostel, and I lived with my friends, squatting with them for almost 2 years. Okay. But how did all these things change? Let me get to that very quickly. Now, in 2016, I remember I was privileged to have been invited on a project called Next Generation Project in Abuja. And that was actually where I met Grace. I met Grace, that was in February 2016. All right. And I got to know about Opportunity Desk. I got to know about the work that she's doing. I got to see how, genuine she is, how she was so selfless about the thing that she was doing, providing opportunities with a lot of people. And I really, really wanted to connect to that. Now, these were things that were not available to me from where I was coming from, right? And so I started following her platform. I started reading up her work, and I got back. This was 2016. Now, in 2017, that was the time I would make my very first international travel. I traveled out of the country for the first time. I traveled to Ghana, finished what I was doing there. It was when I was coming back, okay, that an idea actually dropped in my mind, right? But I also knew that I cannot just walk away like that because an idea dropped in my mind. I needed people who have actually gone ahead, okay, who have achieved the goals, who are living the life that I was dreaming about. And that was when I remember, Grace, I don't know if you remember the time I came to Cross River. In fact, I traveled. That was why I told you guys the first thing is that, there will always be things to worry about. Focus on the big things. Do not worry about small things. Second point is that growth is going to cost you. I traveled from where I was and I went to Cross River then to meet her in person. And I shared a few thoughts with her, got to connect with her. And in 2018, I think, that was a year after I got back from where I traveled to, I shared another idea with her. Now, what I shared with Grace were things I had shared with a lot of people from where I was coming from. And guess what? They told me to go and get a job. They told me to go and get into school. My friend, go and your mates are in school and you are here walking up and down. Now, these were people who, they never told me, come and go to school, and I refused. They didn't give me money to go to school, and I refused. I did not drop out of school. I didn't say I was tired of studying. But they rejected me because they felt I was not a graduate. They felt because I didn't go to school. And because of that, they ruled out everything I had that was an idea. And that got me terribly depressed. Now, Grace was one of the people I spoke to about that. And she looked at what I was going to do. And she was one of the few persons who believed in the idea of what I was sharing, okay? And she connected with that. And it was a huge success in 2018. And in less than 10 months, that idea had actually connected in 3 countries. Now, it didn't just move to 3 countries. We made quite a lot of money. In fact, because the very first outing we had, that was going to be the first time we made over $6,000. We made something that someone rejected and told me to go and get into school. My mates are all in school studying. I'm here walking around without any plan and any goal. That useless idea, just because a group of people believed in it. First, we had to make over $6,000 at that point. And within 8 to 11 months, we had actually gone to 3 countries, okay? And it wasn't just about going to 3 countries, it was also the fact that there was a lot of support from where we had actually started coming from. And 2019, I got this invitation letter. Okay, I got this invitation letter from the presidency in the Republic of Rwanda, and I got to speak alongside other speakers, very globally renowned speakers, in an event that had over 10,000 people from 92 countries. That was in 2019 at the Youth Connect Summit. Now, fast forward, a lot has happened currently now. I've been to like 15 countries, and and we are still counting. We are still getting into other places.
Wow.
I'm really very excited. But the exciting thing for me is also how I didn't just get here. One of the things I always, that has sustained all these things is the fact that I know where it started from. I knew that I needed someone that will show me how these things are done. I knew I needed somebody I can be accountable to, to somebody who can, tell me, Raymond, you're not getting it right like this. Okay, how do you intend to do it like this? And that is exactly what, the role that Grace has really, really played in this journey. So when people see, oh, Raymond has traveled to this place, Raymond is here, it's not just because we just woke up and it started happening. There are people that we have actually started staying with. And, most recently here, I also carried this whole idea and mentality and everything. And in 2021, I decided to get back to school. Not essentially because I want to get certification, but because I want to expand my network, right? I wanted to expand my network. I was no longer at the point where I wasn't trying to prove to anybody I can read and pass exams. I just wanted to get into a different environment where I can expand my network. And so that is why, last week, exactly 7 days ago, I was invited to speak and inspire about over 150 graduating international students in one of the largest student bodies here in Cyprus, where I live. And the president was also there. I didn't know that as they sent me an invitation letter, they had also invited the president. I mean the president of the country. I do not mean the president of the association. And I remember it was a lot of conversation that went on within that period. I don't want to talk about them, But what I'm trying to say is that your dream of going global, if you really want to go global, is very, very, very possible. It is very, very possible. If only you can, first of all, understand that it's going to cost you, and then you need people that will keep you accountable to the place where you want to go to. And of course, now they say I didn't go to school. I'm in school now. I'm doing well. And again, I also did mention, Grace, to you that I'm here where I also live. I'm also privileged to be playing a very big role here in my school, where I am also like the only Nigerian that is working in the international office. But all these whole things are really products of where we have been coming from all this while.
Powerful.
Thank you so much, everyone, for having me.
Thank you so much, Raymond. I wish you had more time to keep hearing you. I don't get tired of listening to Raymond, especially when we get on calls. The calls can last for hours, because he has so much to say and share. Thank you so much, Raymond. I appreciate you, and I'm sure this has helped someone today. Very quickly, we're going to hear from someone that I call my friend and my sister. She is no other person than the phenomenal Virtue Oboro. Virtue has raised over $600,000 in grant funding for her organization and for her clients. Now, one thing that I want you to know about Virtue is that she's an inventor. It's not every day we come across inventors in Nigeria. You can attest to that. But Virtue almost lost her first child to jaundice. And that experience inspired her to create a solution for children who go through similar challenges. And so she is the inventor, developer of Cribaglow, an innovative solar-powered phototherapy unit for the treatment of neonatal jaundice. Now she's dedicating her time to coaching other people like yourselves and organizations on how to write grant applications so you can secure funding for your projects. Everyone, please drum rolls and welcome Virtue Oboro. You have the floor.
Hello, everybody. Or was I talking to myself?
I think so. We can hear you now.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be speaking with over 230 people. Amazing. You guys, thank you so much for making it here. And Grace, God bless you for the opportunity that you have given to me to tell my story once again. I enjoy telling my story because it interests me every time I talk about myself. And thank you for that introduction. I really always am very shy sometimes when I introduce myself as an inventor. Guess why? I didn't start like that. So in 2015, this story is for everybody. It's not for Grace. Sorry, I'm sounding like I'm talking to Grace. But yes, in 2015, my son had neonatal jaundice and we encountered the medical problem. And that problem inspired me to come up with a solution that will save other babies. And that was where I started from. Unlike a lot of people in the leadership space or in the business space or in the non-profit space or who are intending to start, some people would find the opportunity to maybe start as well. I reflected today, speaking with Grace, I reflected today and Grace asked me, when did you even start? And I'm telling myself, you know what? I didn't volunteer anyway. I just went straight from doing my regular life. I started off as I was just a regular primary school teacher before I launched my first business, which was just normal, connected to what I studied in school, until I stumbled on what that problem was. Why I'm emphasizing or talking about this particular process is that a lot of you here might be encountering different things in your life that you see as challenges and probably are staying there. For me, I saw a problem and I thought to use that problem as a solution to people around me and to the entire world. And because of solving that problem, I founded Tiny House Technology, which is a medical manufacturing business situated in Nigeria. And we sell our products, of course, definitely to all parts of Nigeria. And the best part of it is this: I grew in grant funding applications and opportunity from my own experience. The first time I went global was when I applied for the Mandela Washington Fellowship. Thankfully and gratefully, Grace was part of that process. Grace was able to help to vet my application. When Grace read my story, Grace was compelled. She was inspired. She's like, Virtue, you have a very good story. You have such an intriguing story. And I hope that I believe you. She believed so much I was going to get it when I said, when she encouraged me to apply. And I went ahead, I applied. And for something that people would struggle, apply 3, 4, 5 times before they get it, I got it at a go. And now I'm able to use all of these experiences from my child having neonatal jaundice to me building a business and then getting the experience of having to apply for grant funding opportunities. Now, when you are seeking grant funding opportunities, I'll wrap this up, right? You will, when you're seeking for opportunities, and I would focus on grants where I'm focused on. I wrote a book on grants. I did a lot of things on grants, yes, but there's just something that's been on my mind. You will have rejections and you will also have acceptances. Even as I have advanced for the past 8 years, I've been applying for opportunities, grants, investments for my business, for other people's businesses. I've raised over $600,000. Yes, but I still get rejections. However, you get yes, you get no's, but what you can do to ensure that you get yes, to get a yes, a few things, and I'll give you some of them because I have to go. Maybe after this call or after this webinar, I'm sure that Grace would drop some links on how you can continue to communicate. And then you need to be part of the next webinar. You need to be part of Grace's next course, just so that you will have the opportunity to listen to some of them. So the first thing that has always helped me to get yes is telling my story in a very compelling way. I have mastered the art of telling my story in a way that only I can tell it. Even if you want to copy from me, you can't tell your story exactly the way I would tell mine. The second way is I've been able to build up a track record for myself to ensure that I can convince and tell people or tell potential funders that I have built something, I'm building something, or I am starting something and I am the best person for it. And that's how I've been able to get the yeses. I'll just keep remaining 3 until when, of course, you can continue to, you can reach out to me as well afterwards, even Grace herself, and also sign up for the course that Grace has put out there. I believe it's a big opportunity for everyone that's here to be a part of, just so that you reduce the possibility of getting rejected and increase your chances of receiving your biggest email. Congratulations, you have been accepted. You guys, thank you very much for listening. And Grace, thank you for the opportunity. I wish I could speak for 100 minutes or 1,000 minutes. I'll talk like my daughter, 100,000 million minutes. But I have to obey the order and stop here.
Thank you. To a lot, it's Virtue. She's so full of wisdom. She's full of insights about so many things, and you can see that for yourself. Virtue, something that you said here is that you've mastered the art of storytelling to the point that even if someone copied you, they would never be able to say it the way Virtue would say it. And that's powerful. Thank you for sharing that, Virtue. We're truly inspired by what you do.
Thank you, too, Grace.
At this point, we're going to welcome Efe Johnson. Efe, I already introduced you.
Hi, everyone.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Sorry about earlier. Thank you so much to the Queen of Global Opportunities for having me. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the speakers and everyone that's here to listen. So I've been given just 5 minutes to share a bit of my story. I don't think it will be possible, but I'm just going to try. I'm a young person. I think I'm the youngest person on the speaker panel. I'm always the youngest person in anything I do. So I'm just going to speak as though I'm speaking to young people, because I know that there are a lot of young people here. And to share a bit of my story, I'll start by saying that it started in 2016 when I joined Enactors as a student. I joined Enactors, the Global Students Platform, as a student. And at that point, I did not even know that it had any it will have any effect on my life or on my CV and profile or anything. I just joined Enactors as a passionate young person, right? And that same year that I joined Enactors, I was exposed to international opportunities. Of course, you may have heard of the Enactors World Cup, where young people travel abroad to compete on social impact issues, right? So I was exposed to the idea and the possibility of international opportunities. But that same year, when I was supposed to travel out, I could not travel out that year because I did not have a passport. I was a young person. I did not have a passport. I did not see the need of having a passport. And that was in 2016. 2017, 2018, I had multiple opportunities as well to travel, but I did not have a passport. As though 2016 was not enough lessons for me. I still did not have a passport 2017, 2018. And then I dropped out of school. I was like, you know what, I'm done with this. I want to focus on my life and everything. So I must emphasize, and I must thank John Obidi. I know he's here. I must thank him for always emphasizing the need for young people to stay in school and the need for young people to get their passport. Those are two important things he always emphasizes. And those are two things that actually helped me, because I had to go back to school and I had to get my passport. So 2020, 2021 was when I came across John Obidi and I started hearing his get your passport message a lot. It became a burden for me, and I just knew that I had to do it. So towards the end of 2021, December precisely, I held my passport for the first time ever. And as I held that passport, I said, this will not just be an identification card for me. I'm going to travel the world. I know that I have value to give my world, and the world will hear my voice. I held that passport and I said that. I did not know how it was going to happen, but I put it on my vision board. I put it on my goal setting book. And I said the next year, which was 2022, last year, I said I was going to travel out of the country for the first time, and I did not care how it was going to happen. In 2022, I actually, in 2022, I got a fully funded trip. My first trip out of Nigeria was to Ghana, and I was so excited. It was fully funded, and I was paid to travel. Now, most people may say, so the first point from what I've said is psychology. You've got to be intentional about your psychology when it comes to being a global citizen, right? You've got to be intentional. You've got to believe that you're worthy of traveling. You've got to believe that you're worthy of winning a fully funded scholarship. It starts here first. I know it sounds cliche, but psychology is the first thing, right? And then it happened that I got my first trip out of the country to Ghana. And when that happened, some people might say, oh, I just spoke it to existence, or it was just luck, or first time luck, which may have been true, but I'm going to share the second point, which is to create your own opportunities. And that was what I did, because my first trip now opened the way for me to take my second trip and my third trip, which is now opening the way for many other trips. Okay, so what I did, how I created my own opportunities was when, and this is something I've never shared publicly, but they don't teach you everything in school, so I'll just share this. When I went to Ghana, they brought in different youth leaders, young leaders from across Africa to work on a Ford Foundation project. And I was one of the selected ones, right? And when I went to Ghana, I got a gift for my host. I bought a gift for my host that was relevant to the work that I do, but also would mean something to him. And I took that gift there and I handed it over to him. I've never shared this before. And I handed it over to him, and he was so impressed at the fact that they all gathered young people. This is a fully funded trip. They were not expecting, anybody to do anything, but I was the only person amongst over 72 people from across Africa that even thought of buying him something, and it really touched him. And I gave him that gift, and that was it. We did not communicate after then. Let me shock you. Few months after that, an opportunity opened up, a conference opened up in Thailand, and it was something that relates to my field in social impacts, which is sexual and reproductive health. And that opportunity opened up, and because of the gift I gave him, he just remembered, oh, this person is actually into sexual and reproductive health. And then he placed the call. I was like, hey, I was just looking at your gift, and I just remembered that you're into this field, and I have this conference coming up. Would you want to represent our organization? I was like, of course I do. Of course I will. Let's go. And he said it was in Thailand. Now, last year, I was traveling abroad for the first time to Ghana, right? Which may have been a coincidence, but I was so intentional about creating my own opportunities, maximizing that first experience I had, and making sure that it would not just be a one-time thing, right? And then I was paid to go to Thailand. It was a fully funded trip, and I was still paid on top of it. I went to Thailand. When I got to Thailand, creating my own opportunities, of course, a mindset, I networked with people with whom I'm now doing amazing things right now. So that's what, and then that Thailand trip, because of how excellently I delivered, the Thailand trip led me back to Ghana some months ago this year. And let me tell you something that happened in Ghana this year, right? It was just so random, super random. I was in the meeting in Ghana, and someone I had interacted with the other day walked up to me and said, hey, I was unable to sleep because your face just kept ringing in my mind. Do you know this person? And the picture he showed me was my younger sister's picture. I was like, oh, wow, this is such a coincidence. Yes, she's my younger sister. And then he said they had been trying to meet with her because she's a poet. He said they had been trying to meet with her and that he would love to meet with her. You would not believe that barely a month after my trip, my younger sister had her first fully funded trip to Ethiopia. Now, which I just need to stress the fact that destinies are connected to you, and you've got to be intentional about becoming. Because I can just imagine when that happened, I was like, oh, what if I never made the decision to go abroad last year? My younger sister probably would not have as well, right? If I didn't make the decision to travel, to explore, to be bigger than I was, I may have been limiting even the people that are coming behind me. So as of last year, I was the first person ever to have traveled from my family, but as of this year, it's not the same. My younger sister is even doing a lot more. Why? I took a chance on myself. So I just want to stress the fact that destinies are connected to you, and you need to get serious about your life. Okay. Another thing I would emphasize is international affiliations. I know my time is running out, but I'll just emphasize international affiliations. It's very important. It's very important. I think that most of the opportunities that you are applying to, whether it's Yali, whether it's the Mandela Washington Fellowship, or whatever opportunity it is, you've got to understand that most of these people would only find you valuable when other organizations have found you valuable before. So it's good that you have I'm just seeing the comments. I'm going to round up. It's good that you have international affiliations, even if it means volunteering, even if it means getting ambassadorship deals, right? Volunteer for international organizations. It's beautiful to volunteer for grassroots organizations, but I must stress the fact that you've got to expand your horizons, because these things matter. It matters how many times your passport has been stamped before. It matters how many international organizations you've worked with. So please, most of us don't like to volunteer, but even if it means volunteering, volunteer. If you're students, please take advantage of students' organizations. I will always stress this, enactors and the rest of them, but ensure that it is on your profile. Most of you do not know that the work that I did with the Haiti Ministry of Education was completely volunteer work. But by the time I was done with that, I had a certificate that was signed by the president of the Haiti Island, the Ministry of Education, and PeaceX. I cannot even begin to tell you what that certificate has done for me just being on my profile. So maximize international affiliations. I'm not allowed to share this publicly yet, but I have just been named. I think within the week I'll be able to share after the press conference in New York. But I've also just been named as a United Nations Young Leader for the SDGs, Generation 17 Young Leader for the SDGs. Now, the work that I've done has brought me this far, but I understand what having the United Nations on my profile will do for me going forward. Like, I'm so confident. I understand what having that on my profile will do for me going forward. Next month, I'm going to be in Asia for our first onboarding session. After that, I'm going to
You are incredible, Efe. You are incredible. Thank you so much. And I am proud of you, to say the least. Everyone,
I would not be here. I know my time is up. Thank you so much for the time, the very short time. Sorry?
We lost you for a second.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
She's not called Efe Johnson of Impact for nothing. She's called Efe Johnson of Impact. She's so loaded. She's so young. You don't want to know her age. But when I see her, I am so proud. Congratulations on everything, Efe Johnson. And guess what? Efe Johnson is coming on board the masterclass to share. So she's going to share more than she has done today. And of course, you should be part of that. Now to the very last segment of this webinar. I know that many people here cannot wait to hear from the amazing Daddy J.O. But before he comes up, I do have something to tell you, and then I have an offer for you. So give me your ears for the next 2 minutes or 3 minutes max. Let me tell you about this transformative 2-day program that is happening next month, July 2023. I have decided to share everything that I know and to hold you by the hands and show you the way. Some of you have read my book, but I'm telling you, the masterclass is an extension of that book. After this masterclass, I'm taking this to another level. And I would say, come on board now before it gets very expensive. So the Go Global Masterclass is going to go in depth to show you how to join global communities, what Efe refers to as international affiliations, exactly how to penetrate, how to join, and not just how to join. I've seen a lot of people who are members of these organizations, but they're not getting anything out of it. I'm sure you too may be a member of one organization or the other, but you're not benefiting anything. Let me show you how to get the most from communities and networks. I have gotten lots of money, grant funding, travel opportunities. I had my first TEDx speaking opportunity through a global community. My first grant came through a global community. So you can't begin to imagine all that you can get out of global communities. So come on the masterclass and let me show you how. Let me also show you how to position yourself to demonstrate leadership skills, even if you're not a founder. A lot of people don't have their own organizations or their projects, but I can show you exactly what to do to prove to them that you are the right candidate for that program. Let me also help you learn how to craft winning of applications. So there is a way to these things. There is a hack, there is a tactic. And if you don't do it that way, you will not get what you want. I'm telling you that those who have gotten it right, they know what I'm talking about. So if you want to learn how to write or craft compelling applications for fellowships, for scholarships, come on board. I've helped so many people. And in fact, someone just sent me a message right now. He got invited for an interview for the Mandela Washington program. Another person got invited for an interview with Atlas Core Fellowship. I reviewed some of the applications. So for them to get to the interview stage, it means they have done something right. Come to the masterclass and let me show you how. Let me also show you step-by-step guide on how to build a great profile and online presence. I see some of you, you're from your name to your profile image to your bio to everything is not aligning. It's not representing. So if you want me to show you how to come correct and let people see you online and your digital footprint is making way for you, is opening doors even before you get there, come to the masterclass and I'll show you how. Practical step-by-step guide. And of course, let me give you strategies and tips, insider tips that have proven to yield results. You know, a lot of my friends, they can freely talk about me like this. And the reason is that when we interact, I always drop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tips that when they hear, they're like, what? For real? How come I didn't know this? So come on the masterclass, let me show you how. And there are ways to easily find your best fit opportunities. Me and you will be talking about that, and I will tell you exactly how. And after the masterclass, you become a pro. In fact, you will help to mentor and guide other people and tell them, hey, I don't think this one is for you, or I think this one would work. And you will be someone that even helps to guide other people. And finally, there's a hack to creating the ideal CV. If you want to learn that, come on board. So I do have an offer for you, but before that, let me tell you why people don't take action. People don't take action because they don't believe that they can win fully funded opportunities. When they hear it, they're like, it's too good to be true. How can that be me? Maybe they'll ask me to pay later, or maybe something is going to happen. I remember when I went on a fully funded trip to the US with the team of girls that won the Global Pitch Technovation program. And you know what they said? Not what they said. Someone actually said, are you sure you're not taking these girls to traffic them? And I said, what? How dare you say that? Don't you know that there are organizations that are willing to pay for flight ticket, for accommodation and everything for people to travel? So people are not taking action because they don't believe in these things. People also are not taking action because they think it's too expensive to attend master classes like this. But nothing is ever expensive. It's an investment in your personal development. And if you don't do it now, you'll regret not doing it later. And a lot of people don't take action because they're not ready to leave their comfort zones. They want to keep doing things the same old way. And you know what? They'll keep getting the same results. So if you're someone who wants to get a different result, who wants to get congratulations emails more, who wants to be accepted, who wants to be nominated, recognized, who wants to go global, then you should get ready to take action, leave your comfort zone and do what's uncomfortable for you today. And finally, a lot of people don't take action because they're held down by barriers, challenges, setbacks. But today you're going to say to yourself, I'm not the only one going through something, but I'm going to walk through this and I'll come out stronger. I'll come out victorious. Now, there are 3 bonuses I am including. And I'm doing this because I'm very generous at heart, right? The first bonus is I'll give you tips for answering some commonly asked questions. And of course, you'll be able to ask me loads of questions around things you have tried, maybe some experiences you've had answering certain questions, and I will show you the way. Bonus 2 is that I'm creating a list of fully funded opportunities that open every year. So you'll find that list very helpful. And number 3, there are some helpful tools that you can start using today. They are secret tools, actually. So many global achievers are using these tools already, including myself. I'm going to show you these tools and you're going to make use of it and be better positioned for opportunities. So if you want to attend the Go Global Masterclass, Those are enough reasons, right? But guess what? There's one more thing. You could win a fully funded trip to Kigali, Rwanda in July 2023. So our first speaker, Raymond Okpani, has this annual conference he holds in different African countries. It's called Youth Spark Pan-African Conference. I was a speaker at the first conference in Ghana. And John Obidi has spoken at the other conference in Rwanda. This year, he's taking it back there. And I am always so pleased and so happy to support Raymond's program. And that's the thing, when you join my circle and you have something, I'm always rooting for you and I'm always willing to help. And one of the ways I'm supporting Raymond is by sponsoring one person to attend that conference. I know it's going to be power-packed. It will be a great exposure and a great opportunity for you to develop your leadership skills and meet new people. So one person from the Go Global Masterclass will have the opportunity to win that free ticket. So if you want to be the one, and if you want to be considered, come on board the Go Global Masterclass. So imagine everything you are getting. There is no value to some of these things. I could have added, oh, the Go Global Masterclass is valued at $1,000. The tips is valued at $2,000. To be honest, it's priceless. But I'm asking you to make that investment of 19,700 Naira or just $28 and get yourself all of this. But guess what? I do have this offer for you. And these three beautiful women, they are my friends. They are lovely people. I'll tell you shortly about them. Clara was one of the participants in Opportunity Desk Scholarship Support Group. So we had this 12-week program where we coached some people from across the world to learn how to find and apply for scholarships to study abroad. Clara was one of them. And Clara graciously decided to provide scholarships for as many people as possible to join this program. Chika Rita is my sister, my friend. She has won several opportunities. She's someone you need to hear from. She's currently doing her PhD program in North America. And she's always reaching out to me to say, I love anything you're doing. If there's an upcoming program, just let me know about it. And you know what she does next? She'll be like, I'm going to sponsor some people. Take this money. Make sure some people have the chance to get into your program. And I'm like, what? Who gives so much to another person? Women supporting women, right? So Chika has made it possible for some of you to get a discount on the masterclass. And finally, my friend, my sister, my business partner, she's everything. Juliet Iyang, another amazing, amazing woman, currently doing her PhD program in New Zealand with her family. We both are co-founders of Academic Hive. She has also provided some sponsorships. And this is what this means for you, that between now and the next 48 hours, you can pay 25% off. You can pay 14,775 14,775 Naira, 25% off the original fee if you go to this link after this program. Go to this link and pay this amount in the next 2 days. I'll shut it down and it will revert to the original price, which is not so much if you ask me. So get this offer and get yourself into the class. I hope this helps as many people as possible. It's quite limited. So when we max out, we will close the offer. So I would say be among the first people to take advantage of this discount and see you in July. So right now, I would like to introduce the one and only Mr. John Obidi. John needs no introduction. John and I first connected in 2018. I think I first reached out to him on Facebook and I said, John, you're doing such a great work, well done. And he replied that message and said, oh, thank you so much. And then the next time I heard from him, he was like, is it your birthday today? I'd like to feature you on my live program. And I said, oh, why not? And guess what? Someone actually sent me a DM and said, how did you get on John Obidi's live event? And I said, how? I don't understand this question. And I said, I've been trying to get on his live. I've sent him some messages. I've volunteered. I've done this. I've done that. But he just never invites me to speak. And I'm like, what, really? Well, I don't know what you're talking about, but yeah, he did ask me to speak, and I'm honored to accept that invitation. And that's what happened. After that program, of course, you can imagine, lots and lots of people bought the Go Global book. We sold out 2 times. So that's how I am a best-selling author. And he helped, just being on his platform also gave me more visibility and helped a lot of young people to access global opportunities. So it's my pleasure to welcome Mr. John Obidi. Drum rolls, everyone. For John, you have the floor. Let me unmute you now.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Awesome. So good to see you all. I see my people here. The usual suspects, Titi Ishaya, Adwola, I've been seeing you in the comments there. Efe Johnson, so good. I saw your presentation. It was amazing. Good job. You did a fantastic job. Chisom Obidigbo, Anthony Ntema. Anthony, I think it's Anthony, you are from either Cameroon or Liberia. I still remember you. So good to have you guys on. Grace Iheji, so good to be here. Lovely job that you were doing. I mean, I've been following Grace's work for a long time. I remember that first conversation that we had. I think she was a lecturer then in, was it Calabar? And I reached out to her because I thought she was doing amazing. And I said, what you're doing is going to be really useful to my community. And I brought her on, and she's just been doing so amazing. And let me tell you something about people like Grace. It's like in every generation, right? It's as if there are some people placed in every generation to shepherd the next. Because even for us, when we were coming up, there was a generation that was just there, like 1 or 2 people. There are not usually many that are just there to show us the way, usually for free or next to nothing. So I want you guys to see what Grace is doing and not think that it is just normal. No, we didn't have that many people. You either knew how to go global or you did not. Okay, so please, guys, give Grace a rousing round of applause. I appreciate her. And now I heard I have just 10 minutes, so I'm going to rush quickly what I have prepared here. Now, let me tell you guys something. Now, a lot of you have never heard me speak before. Some of you have heard me speak. A lot of you are in my community or following me somewhere on social media. But I'm not going to assume that anybody has heard me speak before. So you might hear me say some things again if you've heard me before. Now, most people here are young people. And I want to tell you guys something. According to the machinations of the country where you are from, especially if you're from a third world country, it is not normal for you to be going global while you are young. I want you to understand me. It is not normal for you to be going global and achieving great things while you are young. The overarching idea is for you to pay your dues over time, okay? The idea is for you to pay your dues over time. Maybe in your 40s is when you start blowing, all right? But when I was much younger, I said, I can't wait till I'm in my 40s to blow up. I've got to figure out how to make it young. And that is why I'm so happy that Grace is doing this. I'm happy that people like Raymond, Efe Johnson, Virtue are doing such amazing work and inspiring other people to take their lives seriously early. One of the things that people are going to be telling you at this age is that, oh, age is just a number. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, age is not just a number. There are some of these opportunities where once you cross a certain age bracket, you cannot access them again forever and ever. Maybe nobody has told you these things before, but there are some of these things, once you cross a certain age limit, you cannot apply again. It is important that as a young person, you get your acts together early. And I'll mention one major thing, the elephant in the room, and that is social media. A lot of you guys are making a fool of yourselves on social media. And nobody has told you that these things will come back to hurt you. One day, when you decide to take your life seriously, they will come back to bite you. Today, even when you're applying for, I think, US visas, you're supposed to put in your social media handle. Some people don't know that, all right? Everybody checks your digital footprint. I remember the day I knew I was going to be something in life. I remember that day clearly. It was in 2013. I mean, I've always been brilliant, but when I knew that I was heading towards something big. I was going to be known. I was going to be relevant. I was going to be famous. I was going to be significant. I knew that day clearly. It was in 2013. And I said, wow, you know what I did? There's this software online where you can use it to erase your Twitter history. Back then, there was no Instagram and all of that. It was just Twitter and I think Facebook. I used that software. I erased everything I had ever tweeted, because I wasn't, not that I was tweeting bad things per se, but they were unserious. I was a child. That was 2012, 2013. I was just tweeting, you know, when I was a child, I thought I was a child. But when I became a man, I thought I was childish things. I erased everything I ever tweeted on Twitter. That's one. I removed everything I ever posted on Facebook, because then I was a child. We were tweeting in shorthand and it was just childish, you know. And these days, you are going to be judged retroactively, right? They won't say, okay, she was a child that time. She never gets sense. They are going to judge you with what you have put out before. So I'm opening up to you so you don't think that, oh, okay, I'm just coming and looking all perfect. No, I had to erase everything, no evidence. My Twitter account erased everything. Facebook erased everything. Then I started afresh. Because in 2013 was when I first got nominated for the Future Awards Africa Prize for New Media. When that nomination came, I said, okay, this has gotten real. my life has actually started. I mean, I was serious, but you know, I didn't have a Grace in my life or a John Obidi in my life to tell me to be curated in a certain way. I had to advise myself. So guys, listen, first things first, all right? You have to be careful about your digital footprint. When I teach this, I teach it using football as an analogy, all right? I use football as an example. You know, for those of you who play football or you watch football, there's usually a defensive strategy and then an offensive strategy, okay? So defensive strategy is go to your social media and erase all those things that you've put out there, all those jokes that don't, remove it. Social media is not your diary. And thankfully, you see, Facebook and Instagram, you don't need to delete it. You can just set it to archive. On Instagram, you can archive old stuff. You don't need to delete it if you want them to be like memorable stuff. Just archive them, all right? But understand that social media is not your diary. When social media says, what are you thinking? Do not answer that question, okay? Instead, social media is your CV. Start putting out something that makes the world take you seriously, okay? So that's the defensive strategy and then the offensive strategy, all right? Now, what is your offensive strategy like? First of all, today, anytime someone hears your name, they are going to Google you. Do you have a digital footprint where somebody can Google your name, like Jude Onoja, for example? Someone just Googles you and they see amazing stuff that you have done. Very important. One thing you can do right now, go to this website called about.me, all right? Go to this website called about.me. About.me allows everyone to create a one-page website. It's not a full website, but a one-page profile where you can articulate your value to the world, all right? If you don't know how to articulate yourself very well, thank God in your time, there's ChatGPT. In my time, I did not have. We had to study book by force. But in this day and age, you don't need to know how to articulate yourself that well. Go to ChatGPT, put in some variables and say, create me a professional profile that I can put on my About Me profile. You get that, post it there. Now, when anyone searches your name, your surname in Google, that About.me profile is what shows at the top. Take this same strategy, all right, and just keep on posting to that profile. Now, here's one thing that a lot of Nigerians don't know. Nigerians do not know the value of volunteering. And I understand why. It's okay. Because of how we see volunteering in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we see volunteering as free work. But when you travel abroad, they rate volunteering very highly. And anybody who has ever traveled for any of these opportunities, they're going to tell you that when all these other countries see on your CV or on your profile that you volunteered for this, they take you very seriously. To them, it's like, if you are willing to work this hard for an unpaid opportunity, that means you must be really competent. So if they give you a paid opportunity, it means you will go above and beyond. So abroad, especially in the United States, in the UK, they rate volunteering way higher than those who have not volunteered. So here's what I'm going to tell you guys. Everything you have ever volunteered for and everything that you volunteer for moving forward, make sure you archive them, make sure you are documenting them, all right? So on your About Me profile, and please, everything I'm saying about me, make sure you do the same thing on your LinkedIn. these two platforms, okay? So when you are documenting your volunteering experience, you put the name of the organization, what it was about, and just write about it. Remember, guys, in 2023, I know Sabi speak English is not an excuse. I made a spelling error. No, you must put your best foot forward. And like I said, we have AI. I'm so happy for you guys in your time that you have AI, all right? Use AI. Just take your stuff that you don't know how to spell well, put it into AI to correct your mistakes for you. It will help you articulate yourself better, okay? Create a report for every event you volunteered at. If you can take a picture with the founder and the speakers, the organizers, do it, catalog it. All these things will make you rank way higher than somebody who is just coming empty, all right? This is something that so many people do not know until they have gone very far. I did not know until I had gone very far. All right. So that's it about volunteering. So do this on About Me, do this on your LinkedIn as well. All right. Let me see. Okay. Then the same thing with your Instagram. Okay. Everywhere. Just keep on putting it. It doesn't matter if you have just 5 followers. Just post it. Let your Instagram and all these profiles be like your CV, where they can click there, they will just see everything, okay? Now you go and find something that you can put on your Instagram bio. You know, when people are still trying to define themselves in life, you see them putting things on their bio like Capricorn. What is that? That's for children. Okay, go and remove. Nobody asks you for your zodiac sign. Nobody asks you for all this. Put your best foot forward, all right? If you don't know how to do that, ask ChatGPT, all right? Articulate yourself. What's your elevator pitch? I'm a passionate about this. Put your links in the bio. All right. Let everything be professional. Another thing, your profile pictures. Everybody is visual these days. Your profile pictures, it can't be like something you took as a selfie. Do your best. Get into a photo studio. Get a professional headshot. Did you see the profiles that came up here today? Did you see Efe Johnson's profile picture? So intimidating. From the side, back, side profile. When you see the picture, you step back. Who is this auntie? You take her seriously, all right? Before you go down the road, before you know what her age is, okay? But straight up, Sandra, Atchison, good to see you. I think it's the same Sandra that I know, okay? So take your headshots, your profile picture, everything very, very seriously, okay? What else did I want to share with you? And one more thing. This one is the extra icing on the cake. I don't want to turn this into a masterclass. You guys should pay for Gracie's workshop and get the full gist. But let me share one last thing for you. And this is for those that want to go very far. I'm not going to talk about why you must have a passport. I think Efe Johnson has drilled that into your minds. There's one more thing. Listen, guys. We are in the content economy. If you are at the stage where you are beginning to have an idea of where you are going, listen, this is what will position you as influential while you are very young. If you are already getting some sense of where you are going in life, the kinds of opportunities you want to be applying for and taking advantage of, listen, start creating high value content. Listen, I'm telling you, you cannot Google it. Start creating high value content. What do I mean? A podcast. So if you are into sustainability, renewable energy, just look at the SDGs, all those things that are there. Women empowerment, maternal mortality, what are all those other things? Youth and education. Anyone that you pick, start creating content around it. It will set you apart from anybody else. There's some opportunities where you would not even have to apply. They are the ones that will pull you in because you have started to become a media platform around that cause. It is so easy for anybody now to create a podcast. You don't even need to go so complicated. Just get on Zoom and have people that you interview every week and put it on your YouTube channel. Let it have your name, let it have the topic. So anytime somebody Googles you, they're not only seeing your profile, what you say about yourself, but they are also seeing all the content you are putting out there. Oh my goodness, this young person, she or he is so knowledgeable about the topic and they've built a community around it. They're already doing some work. Boom. you are selected. That is one thing that will set you apart. I don't turn this into a whole masterclass now. The real masterclass is in Grace's workshop. So make sure you get on board. I even thought the price was going to be that's 20,000 naira she put up before. I'm seeing that she even brought it down to just 15,000 naira. Guys, get on board. I even have my people say that I want to, let me say this before you start DMing me. My quota is already full. Don't disturb me. I have my people that I want to just push into this program right now because of how valuable it is. I got Grace's book on going global, and it was so amazing. Imagine Grace putting all the things in that book into an actual workshop, videos that you can watch, learn from, ask questions. It's amazing. So without further ado, let me hand this back over to Grace. Thank you, Grace, for this opportunity. Thank you for the work you're doing for young people. Guys, getting on that class is just 15,000 naira for the next 48 hours. And I really hope to meet you at the top, of course, as usual. All right, Grace, let's have you back on. Or do you guys still want me to be on here? I'll finish speaking. Maybe you guys want to just me to be showing my natural beauty. And maybe you haven't seen my left side, my left profile. Should I give you this side? Give you this angle? Okay. I'll just entertain you guys with my pretty face while Grace is getting back on.
And the pink lips, of course.
Oh, exactly, because they are the main feature, they're the main attraction. Guys, don't forget the pink lips. They have their social media handle. Go and follow, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much, Grace.
You are such a force to reckon with. And like I told you on Instagram DM, we DM ourselves a lot on Instagram. Like, John is a gift that keeps giving. The amount of resources and tools he has shared with me is incredible. I mean, if I was to pay for them, I'll pay a lot of money, thousands of dollars. So thank you so much, John, for always giving up yourself and for making our time to join us today and for sharing so much from your
Thank you for having me. Thanks for having me.
All right, everyone. Guess what? We had over 300 people join us live on YouTube. I'm just doing this to give a shout out to everyone who is watching from YouTube. Thank you for tuning in and for staying till this very moment. And a big shout out to someone really special. Guess who? I recently connected with a young man. His name is God's Will Akan. God's Will Akan is such an amazing young person who is helping brands be more productive, be more valuable and visible. And his goal is to become the Don Jazzy for influencers and social impact leaders. Everyone, thank you. Help me give a round of applause to God's Will Akan. His picture is not on the screen right now, but he has been in the background making sure that this program is a success. So if you were in the WhatsApp group, you may have come across him. You may have come across him. He's been pushing you to come on board. He's been pushing you to, show up. Thank you very much, God's Will. And once again, thank you, John. Thank you, Raymond. Thank you, Efe Johnson. And thank you, Vetu Lalimi. I appreciate everyone. Thank you again. So the offer is valid for 48 hours and then we revert to the original price. So I'm giving you the chance to do this. For those of you in Ghana who are not able to, who are having issues paying, seller accepts different cards, but if you still have issues paying via seller, send an email to info@opportunitydesk.org and we will provide you with a Stripe link to make your payment. We would include Stripe shortly as one of the payment options to make that easy for you as well. For every other person in Nigeria, you can do a direct bank transfer to Opportunity Desk GT Bank account. If you need the link, don't worry, we're going to send a follow-up email tomorrow morning with the link for you to make payments as well. Thank you once again for staying to the very end of today's Go Global webinar. I hope that we met your expectations and that you're ready to turn your rejections to congratulations. And we have shared, the speakers have shared so much. They've given so much of themselves. And if I were you, I would start running with everything I've heard today. All right, I have this last word for everybody. Remember that every rejection is simply a redirection towards a better opportunity waiting for you. So that no that you're getting is just means that you're a step closer to your yes. So open your arms to setbacks, welcome challenges, welcome failures, learn from them, and keep moving forward. Your perseverance and your determination will lead you to the path of congratulations and global success. So cheers to a year filled with opportunities. I can't wait to see you at the top, and I'll stay rooting for you. Thank you again, and have a blessed rest of the night. Bye-bye.